Hello! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel. I wish I would have done this earlier for you guys, but I woke up at 7:30 this morning. I checked my phone, and my goodness, I could not believe what I was reading. I'm like, should I film a video right now? But I'm like, I can't because I got class at 9 o'clock, unfortunately. And then I had to come home and I had to do homework. I know it's boring as fuck. But ladies and gentlemen, I told you guys, if you guys watch, for any of the Dolphin fans that are watching this, I said that I would come on Sunday, that I would come on Tuesday if there was any big trade moves going on. And my goodness, the biggest trade of the day didn't even come from the NFL. And there's a couple NFL trades that happened that were pretty big. You know, Chase Young is a San Francisco 49er. That's a big deal. Leonard Williams from the Giants was traded yesterday to the Seattle Seahawks. But ladies and gentlemen, the biggest trade of them all, James Harden, the headache, is gone from the Philadelphia 76ers. That's what the title of this video is labeled. The headache. James Harden has finally been traded away and is with the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to talk about it, man. I'm so happy. And I'm on the side that the Philadelphia 76ers won this trade. And I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. But ladies and gentlemen, first of all, if you celebrate Halloween, I don't personally, but if you are out there and you're watching this and you celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween. Hope you guys are having a great day. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel because, man, we're just getting started. We are just getting started up here, man. This week, we have the Miami Dolphins against the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. We're going to talk about it Friday on the Big Fight Fuel channel here. Thursday, we're going to give picks for Week 9. There's a lot of good games this week. And then Sunday afternoon, early afternoon, 1 o'clock to 1:30, we're going to be recapping the Miami Dolphins against Kansas City Chiefs, man. Subscribe. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out my reaction to Philadelphia 76ers against the Milwaukee Bucks on opening night and my reaction to the Miami Dolphins against the New England Patriots, with the Dolphins coming away with a 31-17 win over the New England Patriots. All right, man. I'm just checking my phone real quick to see if anything else has happened. The Buffalo Bills have traded for Green Bay Packers cornerback Rasul Douglas. So I'm guessing that's the replacement for Tre'Davious White and Kylie Elam, I think his name is. So the Buffalo Bills got a new corner, and he's pretty decent. But we're not here to talk about those stinking Bills. I hate them. You guys know that. We're here to talk about the 76ers and trading away James Harden. The news broke at 2:30 in the morning. Man, Daryl Morey, you son of a gun. Why would you make a trade at 2:30 in the morning, knowing that most people are going to not see this until at least 5 a.m.? It doesn't matter, though. This is big. This is absolutely big. And here we go. Today, at 2:30 a.m., the Philadelphia 76ers traded away James Harden, P.J. Tucker, and Philip Pestruov, who is a rookie and he probably got thrown in there last minute. 4, Nicholas Batum, KJ Martin, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, a 2028 unprotected first-round pick, a 2026 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and a pick swap. And they're getting 2 first-round picks. I was wrong about the 2026. There are 2 first-round picks that they're getting is a 2028 unprotected first-round pick, and they're getting a future first-round pick from a third team, and that third team is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the 76ers now have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a pick swap. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why the Philadelphia 76ers won this trade. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to talk about James Harden. And believe it or not, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. When James Harden got traded to the 76ers, man, I was fired up. They traded away Ben Simmons finally. They get James Harden. They're in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference. Okay, I was fired up when they got James Harden. Then they go on and they lose to the Miami Heat in the second round. I'm like, okay, the Miami Heat were a better team than the 76ers that year. We really didn't get full chemistry between James and Joel, and I know we're going to have a second season between them. Them being together on the court. So I'm looking forward to last year. And last year we were going in there with a decent team carried by James and Joel. You had Tyrese Maxey, Tobias. You just signed PJ Tucker to a 3-year, $33 million deal, which, by the way, clap of the hands to Daryl Morey for getting out of that contract. He had 2 years left on the contract, and you're paying a 37-year-old unathletic wing $11 million a year. Kudos to Daryl Morey for getting out of that deal. And then James Harden, he's balling out. They get to the playoffs, they're the 3 seed, and we get to the Boston Celtics in the second round. And James Harden didn't show up for most of that series. James Harden showed up for 2 games, game 1 in Boston and game 4 in Philadelphia. The rest of the series, James Harden did not show up. James Harden was not clutch in the biggest moments in game 6 and game 7 in Boston. And James Harden opted in to his player option and was expected to get paid. And he didn't get paid. And that's why this whole fiasco happened between Daryl Morey and James Harden. And I believe James Harden took it very unprofessionally the way he did this offseason. He went to China, stood in a room full of people with a microphone in his hand, saying Daryl Morey is a liar. I will never play for an organization with him ever again. And at that point forward, we're like, we need to trade James Harden because this is not a healthy relationship. It's not going good. It's only going south. And Daryl Morey has to do something. And he sits, and he sits, and he sits. And the 76ers are not bettering the roster. And then, as today, they traded mother bleeping James Harden to the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, how's James Harden going to fit on the Los Angeles Clippers? I honestly don't know. That's a question for Clipper fans because now you're going to have Paul George, Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, and now James Harden. Who's taking the last shot? Who's going to take the last? Who's going to be the primary guy? You know, that you see that and you look, oh man, that looks great. But then the history, the health history with the Los Angeles Clippers, you're like, is that going to last? Because I'm going to tell you right now, number one, I'm giving James Harden a year and a half until he starts quitting on the Los Angeles Clippers. Because, ladies and gentlemen, he's quit on 3 teams in the last 4 years. He quit on the Houston Rockets, he quit on the Brooklyn Nets, and he just quit on the Philadelphia 76ers. Who's to say he's not going to quit on the Los Angeles Clippers? I give him a year and a half. And the injury history with that team, man, 1 or 2 of those players goes down. If they don't get the job done this year, they're finished. That team is finished. And I know because my brother is a Los Angeles Clippers fan, and I texted him this morning, yo, dude, you got the head of Canal on your team. How do you feel? He's like, oh, he's probably going to average 20 and 10 a game. We just need him to really show up in the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, I mean, the Clippers have to get the job done this year. And he said, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is their year. Maybe. I don't think so. But for the Sixers, why do I think this happened now and not later in the season, not in the trade deadline? Why did Daryl Morey trade him away now? It's because of what I think we've seen in the last 3 games, the first 3 games of the season, out of 23-year-old Tyrese Maxey. And we were waiting for that leap from Tyrese Maxey, and I feel like him playing Doc Rivers, this offense is so fun. Joel Embiid's even saying it, that the offense is not mostly him. The offense is, and the Doc Rivers offense was James Harden, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Joel Embiid, and nobody else. It was always James Harden and Joel Embiid. This offense, you're getting a little bit of Joel Embiid. You're still getting double-double every single night. Tyrese Maxey's putting up unbelievable numbers. Tobias Harris is putting up 20 points. Kelly Oubre is contributing off the bench. You know, this offense is fun. This coaching with Nick Nurse is fun. Now, granted, they beat the Toronto Raptors and the Portland Trailblazers, who are not great teams, but it's early in the NBA season. And in this season, you're going to have bad losses to like the Orlando Magic and the Charlotte Hornets. And I can't name another team off my head, but teams like those, you know, once in a while, you're going to lose to those teams. And in the first 3 games of the season, Tyrese Maxey's had 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. 34.6 rebounds and 7 assists. And Sunday night, he had 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. Tyrese Maxey is going to take the lead now with James Harden not on the Philadelphia 76ers. There's no way you can tell me that Tyrese Maxey, that there's no way you can tell me, let me reword this correctly. There's no way you can tell me that after watching those first 3 games of the season, watching Tyrese Maxey the way he balled out, there's no way you can tell me, yeah, James Harden's going to be plugged right into the lineup. He's going to be the primary point guard. Tyrese Maxey's going to be the third option. And, you know, James Harden is going to have the ball more than Tyrese Maxey. No way. No way that an angry, disgruntled James Harden is going to have the ball more than Tyrese Maxey after the way Tyrese Maxey has played in the first 3 games. That's the reason why I think Daryl Morey traded James Harden right now. Because he's seen what Tyrese Maxey has produced. And what Tyrese Maxey has produced has been amazing. And this offense fits Tyrese Maxey really well. Now, let's talk about the draft capital for the 76ers. First of all, the players that they got are not a big deal. It's really, that's not the important part of this trade. They get guys like Nicholas Batum and Marcus Morris, who I really don't think are going to contribute much to the team. KJ Martin, I do think is going to contribute. He's young, he's athletic, he's fast, he's got hops, he's only 22 years old. I think that guy can contribute to this team. Robert Covington, he's back, baby. Robert Covington, last time he was on the Sixers, way different team. Young process 76ers. 2015, 2016, 2017, 76ers. Then he leaves and he goes and he has a decent career with the Houston Rockets. He revitalizes himself with the Portland Trail Blazers. He gets traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. And now he's back with the Philadelphia 76ers, which I'm kind of excited about. So really, out of those four names, the only guys I see contributing are KJ Martin and Robert Covington. But, man, the big part of this deal is the draft capital and the picks. The 5 picks that they got. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a potential swap. And ladies and gentlemen, the 76ers have over $65 million of cap space going into the offseason. So, with all that draft capital that they have now, the 76ers can go out there and get a star player who's not James Harden, who's not washed like James Harden, next to Joel Embiid. And Daryl Morey preached that he was not going to make this deal with James Harden unless he was going to get a lot of assets out of it to get himself a star player in the future, or he's going to get himself a star player out of it. Now, the whole thing with this James Harden deal, the only team that was interested in trading for James Harden was the Los Angeles Clippers. And the 2 names that kept getting brung up by Philly that they wanted were Terrence Mann and Norman Powell. And they got none of those guys. They did not get Terrence Mann. They did not get Norman Powell. But what they did get was they got 5 draft picks. They got 5 draft picks out of that. So now Daryl Morey, whether it's this week, whether it's next week, whether it's next month, whether it's at the trade deadline, whether it's in free agency, can go out there, he can trade for a big star, or he can go sign a big star that's going to be a free agent. You got yourself out of that PJ Tucker contract. 3 years, $33 million. That was an awful deal by Daryl Morey to make that deal for PJ Tucker. And now he got out of it. James Harden's gone. And you're going to have over $65 million of cap space for next year. So I don't know if the Sixers are going to contend this year, but they very well could. And here's why I think the Sixers, potentially, it's Halloween, folks, okay? I don't know if the Sixers are going to contend. I would give it until, after January. If the Sixers are going to make moves at the deadline, if the Sixers are going to contend for an NBA championship. But right now, let's think about this. This will be the last thing I talk about because I gave out my thoughts on James Harden trade and the draft capital and the players and all that stuff. Let's talk about this. Past couple of years, teams that have won the NBA championship. Okay, the Toronto Raptors in 2019. Their head coach was Nick Nurse. They had a star player, Kawhi Leonard, an all-star point guard, and Kyle Lowry, They had young Pascal Siakam, who fit perfectly in that on that team, in that offense, and very good role players. I can't remember who they had exactly, but I know they had Marc Gasol, they had Serge Ibaka, they might have had a young OG Anunoby, they might have had Gary Trent Jr. off that bench. But that team was really good with a star player, an all-star point guard, and good role players. The Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship last year with a star player in Nikola Jokic, an all-star point guard in Jamal Murray, and very good role players. Kadavius Caldwell-Pope, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Christian Brown, and Bruce Brown. That's how they won the NBA championship. You don't have to have a super team like the Boston Celtics, in my opinion, have a super team. The Milwaukee Bucks have a super tandem, but they have very good role players too. I've got to give the Bucks their credit. It's more the Celtics have a super team. The Bucks don't. The Bucks have Giannis, they have Lillard, and then they have very good role players around there. What I'm trying to say is maybe this year the Philadelphia 76ers could contend with a star player in Joel Embiid. My guess is going to be an all-star point guard, Tyrese Maxey. Possibly someone else if Daryl Morey makes a big-time trade. And role players. You take the role players right now. You got Tobias Harris, who is off to a solid start this season. DeAnthony Melton, who's young, 25 years old, and only going to get better. Kelly Oubre Jr. coming off the bench, putting up nearly 30 points on opening night. Been very good for you so far to start the season. B-Ball Paul, really young but good. Jalen Springer's going to be very good. KJ Martin possibly could contribute to this team. The Sixers could contend with that type of team because we've seen teams that have been successful with that type of roster. I just told you guys the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and then very good role players around them. I mean, we'll have to see how good the role players perform for the 76ers, but I'm excited, man. The main thing that I really couldn't sink my teeth into this season so far was because of the whole James Harden dilemma. Now James Harden's gone. James Harden's on a different team. Daryl Morey got out of PJ Tucker's contract. I can sink my teeth into the 76ers and get really deep and analytical and excited about the Philadelphia 76ers for this season, man. And the fact that they got so much cap space, that's really fun. It's going to be really fun. So those are my thoughts on the James Harden deal for you guys. That's all I have. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We'll have some more Miami Dolphins content coming up this week. As I'm looking on my phone right now, the Miami Dolphins have not made a deal. They did not make a deal at the trade deadline. That's it. That is it. It's past 4 o'clock. As the time I'm recording this, the Miami Dolphins did not make a deal. So the next video I'll have for you guys is the Week 9 NFL predictions, and then Friday we will preview the game in Germany between the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. Be sure to subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the James Harden deal to the Los Angeles Clippers. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me, and follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And I will see you guys Thursday for Week 9 NFL predictions here on the Big Fight Field channel. Have a good one. Stay safe, and as always, stay classy.